Hey guys, I'm here with a good buddy of mine, local real estate agent that we work with quite a bit. You want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, Josh White with Close Real Estate. Close Real Estate is a boutique brokerage run and operated by some Hardin Simmons alumni out of Abilene. And so we work mostly in southwest Tarrant County and into Parker County.
Now I know that real estate is not the first industry you entered. You actually transitioned from something else. Can you kind of let us know, where you came from and how you got here?
Yeah, so, Abilene for college. Um, Played football at Hardin Simmons University, go Cowboys. Then from there, went out to Midland for about 2.5, 3 years and did some oil field sales and operations out there, and it was a grind. And so I had this epiphany of like, one, I wanted to be back home, and then
Yeah.
two, what what is something that I could do that I could kind of make a name for myself, earn my own income, and also just build community and do life with other people.
Yeah.
And so that led me to real estate.
Hmm.
Similar grind. Both are a lot of
Yeah.
work and effort, but this is a lot more fun.
Yeah. So you entered real estate kind of at an interesting time because we went from, if correct me if I'm wrong, you kind of started in 2022.
21.
2021,
Mm-hmm.
which was really the end of both a refinance boom and a purchase boom, right? When rates were in the twos, rates started to get up into the four. So we were kind of leaving that massive boom. That's when the market started to change. And then you just started. So what maybe challenges did you face coming into a market like this?
Yeah, I think the lowest interest rate one of my clients ever got was maybe like a low four.
Yeah.
And so, you
Which is
know,
still relatively low.
yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest challenge is being creative with the
Yeah.
offers that we submit, right? And so, especially for a first time home buyer, doing a 3-2-1 buy down, right, or a 2-1 buy down, which gives
Hmm.
them a lower interest rate for a
Yeah.
short amount of time, because you get a lot of people who are young or early in their careers,
Yeah.
or maybe they're in school still, or have a spouse who's in school, and so in 2 to 3 years, their income's going to increase drastically.
Yeah.
So they just need this short term, all right, 2, 3 years to kind of get by, and
Yeah.
then whenever they get a
Hmm.
promotion or whatever that looks like long term, they're better off
Yeah.
financially. But yeah, just being creative with that, with long term buy downs,
Hmm.
or asking for concessions when we submit offers so that we can pay
Yeah.
for our buyers' closing costs, which again, some of that goes towards the,
Yeah.
the rate buy down.
Hmm.
So
So then entering real estate during a difficult time, because again, I think you'll hear a lot of realtors or lenders say like, this is, it's a tough market or it's a bad market, or a lot of them have left and done something else. For instance, I think there's a statistic like, I want to say like 75 or 80% of realtors have quit the industry since probably 2021. So when you first started, but I feel like you've had a mindset that is super different of everybody else, which is, this is actually a perfect time for you to get in the industry because you didn't start during a time where it was easy. You just
mhm.
showed up and made an offer and, you got the offer and rates were super low. So how do you think starting during a difficult time has helped you be better equipped to serve clients in this market than maybe someone who started during an easy time with no opposition or no challenges?
Yeah, I'm a sports guy, so I'm going to use a sports
Yeah.
analogy here. But Tom Brady was drafted in the sixth round, right? Nobody thought Tom was going to make it, but he had to really refine his craft
Hmm.
in order to be the best and the best to ever play.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's setting yourself up for when there is a good market,
Yeah.
right? You have to work hard. You have to be more diligent. You have to set up systems and processes, and
Yeah.
and really work for your clients, both on the listings and the buyers, to be extra creative on how we can get their home sold or
Hmm.
help them buy their dream home.
Yeah.
And so, what I'm most excited about is like all these skills that I've had to kind of perfect. And
Yeah.
not that I'm perfect yet,
No.
but working on it. But I'm most excited about when there is a good market and like it becomes a little bit easier, that I've already refined and kind of etched out
Yeah.
like my niche and who I am, and that way my clients are ready to go when
Yeah.
it's their time. Yeah.
So how do you think that's translated into maybe being a better fit for someone listing a house today versus agents during 2019 through maybe 2021? All they had to do is put a sign in the front yard and it would sell in 24 hours. Where you've come in at a time like we just talked about where you've had to learn strategy, you've had to learn how to overcome challenges and be creative. So maybe how does that put you in a better position to uh, get your clients' homes sold at the price point they need versus maybe someone else who hasn't experienced a challenging market like this?
Yeah. Marketing is the easy key, right? Everyone knows it's extremely important to market your home and how to do that effectively, but really it's the negotiation side of things. And
Yeah.
so what I mean by that is a lot of agents, someone views the home and they never follow up,
Hmm.
right? They never get a phone call from the listing agent. And so there's a deal to be made, there's a home to be sold.
Yeah.
You just have to find what that buyer's looking for, right? And so in a market like now, when homes sit on the market for a little while, I mean, you have to be really creative. And hey, if we could offer you guys some sort of a concession
Hmm.
or maybe get you a lower interest
Yeah.
rate, which comes with partnering with lenders like you who can have creative financing options.
Hmm.
Um, but just reaching out and really figuring out what's best for the buyer or
Yeah.
what can help the buyer, which also helps my seller,
Yeah.
right?
So it sounds like you're basically just doing that extra 10 to 20% that maybe somebody else isn't doing, which, like you said, making that call, like you as a listing agent, making that call to someone who viewed the house is sounds like such a simple thing, but it seems like so many people aren't doing that. And that might be the difference between your client's house being sold and it's sitting for another, 3 to 4 months, which I'm
Yeah,
seeing so much of right now.
yeah.
Now, Fort Worth is obviously pretty big. Is there, for people that don't know, is there any areas specifically that you kind of focus in, or a lot of your clients tend to be drawn towards?
Yeah, so Southwest Fort Worth is big. That's where I live. So do a lot of business, so a lot of homes in Southwest Fort Worth, and then grew up in Parker County.
Hmm.
So Springtown, Weatherford, Aledo, Brock
Yeah,
is where most of my business is, and then of course the Benbrook area as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
kind of wedged between Southwest Fort Worth and Parker County.
yeah, yeah. Well, we're actually in home today in Parker County. Where are we right now?
We were in Walsh Ranch at the Drees
Hmm.
Custom Homes model home, beautiful house here, and so Walsh is just known for its community, which draws a lot of people to it. So.
Hmm. And I guess in this community, is there like what's the average price point, or because I know Walsh is a pretty sought after
Mhm.
community here, and Parks of Aledo, Morningstar, which is right behind Walsh. What can people expect if they're looking in this area?
Yeah, Walsh it's a really cool community because it kind of is a catch-all for a lot of people who are
Hmm.
looking to live in a neighborhood that provides community. And so price point, I mean, you can get a home, you can get a garden home with a smaller backyard, one-story house here in the high threes, like 380 to 400. You can buy some really cool townhomes in the 400s, and it goes all the way up into the 1.5 to 2 million. So it's kind of a unique thing about Walsh Ranch that a lot of people don't know is up on the hill, up above kind of where the pool is there's Klein Park,
Uh,
which is all custom homes. So
okay.
beautiful, I mean, up into the 2 millions, beautiful homes, and then everything else is going to be more so your like volume with your ability to
Hmm.
to pick finish outs on the homes like
Yeah.
what Drees is.
Which is pretty cool because when I drove in, I mean, they had, like you said, if you're looking for something in the threes, which may be a little bit more affordable, or even fours, but still want the amenities that you'd get with like $1 million price point,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like Walsh has that because they have their own gym, which I've been inside
Yeah.
and it's super nice. They've got two pools, they've got pickleball courts, basketball courts, tennis courts, pretty much everything you can need. But also, if you still want to be in a community like that without spending $1 million, sounds like they have options for that.
I mean, it's really it's perfect for young families,
Hmm.
right? Because young families go through this phase. If you have a newborn,
Yeah.
and that first 5 to 10 years, you're just worried about raising your kid, and so you lose that community aspect of it. But when you
Uh,
live in a neighborhood like Walsh, which throws concerts
hmm.
and bubble
Yeah,
parties
yeah, yeah.
and all this stuff that bring the kids together, not to mention the pool that they
Yeah.
have, which the pool to me it's funny because you've got 40 or 50 kids running
Yeah,
around,
yeah,
and then you have like the lifeguard on duty, but not only the lifeguard but like 75 parents who are
yeah.
watching over like everyone else's kids,
Yep.
trying to help make sure
Yeah.
no one gets hurt. And so really cool community for a young family. And then of course you have that Klein Park, which is a little bit more established,
Hmm.
a little bit higher price point,
Yeah.
so you get a little bit of everything.
That's great. So I have a lot of clients that I've spoken to recently that are moving from out of state. Like, I've got a couple from New Jersey that are looking here in Parker County. I've got a couple from Arizona. There's another couple from Houston that are moving up here. So they're still in the state, but obviously they don't know this area very much. I mean, what can you tell them who are going to be looking online for, where do we buy a house? Where do we send our kids to school? Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between maybe the TCU area versus where we are in Parker County with both, location, entertainment, school districts, whatever might be, helpful for them to make a decision?
Yeah. So, I mean, the number one thing that sticks out is community, right? Both of these areas are very community driven in their own way, right?
Yeah.
And so, Overton Park, Tanglewood, you've got River Hills that's close by, Overton Woods. They're close to all the shops, right? They're 10 minutes to anywhere in Fort Worth, whether it's downtown.
Yeah.
Right next to TCU, which gives you the opportunity to go to all the TCU sports. But then
Yeah.
they also have this really cool community aspect to it of like people just doing life with each other, right? And so those neighborhoods in Fort Worth are a little bit more established, right?
Yeah.
Which means older trees, just older homes in general. And, in those neighborhoods, some of the best public schools, elementary schools in
Yeah.
Fort Worth, Tanglewood ISD, and Overton Park Elementary
Yeah.
School as well. And so now the difference between that and Aledo is Aledo's, you can get a little bit more land. It's a little bit more affordable. And Walsh Ranch specifically, it's all mostly new construction.
Yeah.
But it all has that community aspect to
Mhm.
it. And so the cool thing that Aledo has that a lot of communities don't have is they are just one great public schools from K through 12 all the way up, but also, I mean, they win state in every sport every
Yeah.
year. It seems like I don't know how many state championships they've won over the past.
They've
10
got like
or
the
15.
best. Don't they have like one of the best football programs in the state?
Yeah, in the state, 100%,
Yeah.
right, and the schools to go along with it as
Mhm.
well. And so, those established neighborhoods in Fort Worth, a lot of people send their kids to private schools.
Yeah.
And so, but luckily, where it's situated, there's 10 good private schools that have K through 12
Yeah.
within a 5 to 10 minute drive of
Yeah.
those neighborhoods.
I mean, I
Now-
know of a couple of them, but what are maybe some of the top private schools that you see, like the Overton Park, TCU area, parents are sending their kids?
Yeah, so Fort Worth Country Day,
Uh,
Southwest
heard of that
Christian,
one. Yep.
Trinity Valley,
Okay.
for fine arts school, FWAFA, Fort Worth Academy of Fine
Okay,
Arts.
it's a mouthful.
It's hard to say. And then, on the west side, you've got Covenant Classical.
Okay.
And then if you're looking for maybe a university model, a little
Mhm.
bit smaller, maybe 20 to 30 kids in a graduating class, Clips, which is
Okay. I have
just-
heard of that one. Yeah.
yeah. So Christian Life Preparatory School.
Christian Life. Okay. So you brought up briefly how listings are sitting a little bit longer, and how you're having to be a little bit more creative, or kind of go the extra mile. So, can you tell us maybe what you're doing that maybe others aren't to help get your clients' home sold in a reasonable time frame and accomplish their goals financially as well?
Yeah, the first is what probably most sellers don't like to hear, but it's pricing it appropriately. Unfortunately, in this market, we're if the comparables say it's worth this much, we have to price it 3 to 5% less than that.
Okay.
Because what we're finding is, let's say in 90 days, we're going to reduce our price much further than that if we don't go ahead and be proactive
Yeah.
in the price that we
Yeah.
list at. So, just setting that expectations with clients, which is a difficult conversation,
Yeah.
but hey, your home will sell more if we list it for less now, or we're just going to continue to do price reductions over time and end up at
Mhm.
a lower value anyways.
Yeah.
And so, that's one, and then just a ton of open houses.
Mhm.
In today's world, you just got to get people in,
Yeah.
however we can. And so it's an opportunity to not only showcase the home, but have real conversations with active buyers
Yeah.
in today's market. Meaning, what are your concerns? Like, what are you seeing? What are you looking for? And an opportunity to just say, hey, well, did you know that we can actually buy your interest rate down? I
Mhm.
know that you're concerned about the rate, but if I could get you an interest rate in the 5 today, would that benefit you? And that goes back to the concessions that we talked
Yeah.
about. So, just those two things alone are super proactive. And then again, just to go back to
Yeah.
the marketing side of things,
Mhm.
just showcasing the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Me personally, I have some clients who are seeing the same thing, like the ones who have listed appropriately, right? So they looked at the comps, the realtor was able to show them actual data of homes selling 3 to 5% below the market value. They're getting viewings, like you said. People are coming to the open houses, and they're actually selling for more than the ones that maybe listed what their house was for sale or worth during COVID, and then ending up having to sell their house like 7% below what it's worth and offer, closing cost coverage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, your net's 10% less.
Yeah.
So if you have $1 million home, and the comparables or an appraisal says it's worth $1 million, but we list for 950, we may get 950.
Mm-hmm.
But if we list it $1 million in today's market, it may sit for 3 to 6 months, and then we sell it for 900. And that's unfortunate that that's where it is.
Yeah.
But if you need to sell, like, those are the conversations that we're having with our clients to say, hey, it doesn't make sense to you, but in my experience, I want the most for your home, right? And that's the best way to get it done.
Yeah. So I've known you for a while now, and I know that you really do care about your clients, and you've brought up community a couple of times. So what do you do with your clients to foster a sense of community, both before and after closing, so it's not just a transaction where you give them keys and then walk away?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the front end, it's just setting expectations, right? I do my consultation. My consultation's about 10 minutes. First 5 minutes are about me, what makes me different, how I benefit people like my clients. And in that first 5 minutes of my consultation, I tell them I'm going to be brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
And why that's important is because I treat my clients like they're my friends. And whether my friends, my family members, and my clients all get the same level of service from me. And that means being brutally honest, like telling you, hey, maybe you need to price your home less than what you think it's worth.
Yeah.
And that builds a relationship and a sense of trust. But just making the experience fun along the way.
Yeah.
And then, that second half of my consultation is just 5 minutes of just asking them about what's important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it's like, how would it feel for you to have this? And, it's kind of emotion-based questions. But again, it gets me into what's important to them about moving, know? And part of that is, if we get to the end of the consultation, I may tell them, hey, you don't need to buy a home.
Yeah.
Or you don't need to sell. Like, I'm being brutally honest. Most realtors would say, hey, I'd love to sell anything, anytime, help you buy anything, anytime, when their clients shouldn't. And again, that furthers that relationship.
That's hard, because sometimes being honest means you don't get a paycheck.
Yeah, but it's for a long-term relationship with someone. I care more about them and their family than I do a paycheck. And so now, I tell them also is like, hey, we're going to do life together. I do life with my clients.
Yeah.
And that
what do you mean by that?
Yeah. And so during my consultation, I always tell my clients, hey, like, we're going to do life together.
Yeah.
Like, we will be friends. And if you don't want a new friend, too bad, because you're going to get one, and it's going to be me. And so how I do that is a monthly taco night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super casual. Yeah. You've been to it.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, it's a ton of fun. Come as you are, right? I mean, if you wear a 3-piece suit every day to work, come on. If you wear flip-flops, and, I would ask that you wear a shirt, but, that's like the only requirement. Come as you are. I want to know the real you.
Yeah.
And, and so just having people into your home can really help to foster a genuine relationship and build community. And not only that, I have, several hundred people that I call every month who they past clients, friends, family, that I just have real relationships with.
Yeah.
And, on that call, I ask, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
And so,
which I think is so cool, because, again, a lot of those calls are, hey, how are you doing? Let me check in with you.
Yeah.
Do you have a referral for me?
Yeah.
Where yours is the opposite. It's like, hey, how are you? Is there any problem you have that I can solve?
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool that you do that, because and I know you, and it is genuine, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're really trying to find out, do you have any problem that I can help you solve? Whether that's a referral to a plumber, electrician, a painter, or even if it's something not related to the house that they need. I feel like you have such a good community of people, and all those people have been able to kind of help each other out. And I mean, where do you think that, for you at least, where does that come from, that desire to be a problem solver to your clients instead of just, I'm a realtor looking for business?
Yeah, I think one, it comes from I grew up in a family of ministry.
Yeah.
My parents they own a homeless ministry in Fort Worth.
Okay.
And so always serving and giving. And then recently read a book as well called The Go Giver. And, not to ruin it for anyone, but The Go Giver is about this young guy hustling. And he's got a big client he's chasing down. And he meets this guy who's like going to help introduce him to this client. And he's going to land this big deal. Yeah. And what happens is this guy that he meets ends up just becoming a friend of his who mentors him and shows him that, hey, in business, it's so much better to give more than you take.
Yeah.
If you can give 10 times what you take, you'll end up with the goal that you want.
Yeah.
And so it just goes back to that Zig Ziglar quote that if you help
Right.
enough people in life get what they want,
Yeah.
you can have what you want.
Exactly.
But doing that in a way that's like, if I never get anything from it, perfectly okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a genuine relationship and a genuine heart to just give more than I take.
Yeah. I think the first time you and I got coffee, like it's been probably 2-3 years now. I think that's one way that we connected, because I did sense that about you, that our conversation wasn't based around, hey, how do we just get more business, and how do we close more transactions? It's, hey, how can we be more intentional with the people that we work with and solve problems, because you know that long term that business is just going to come if that's your focus, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, your listing strategy. And so on the financing side, as a lender, I do speak to a lot of people who find themselves stuck needing to sell their house before they buy a new one, but they don't want to be contingent, so they could either be competitive or not miss out on a house they really love. Mm-hmm. So with your clients, can you tell me a little bit about maybe your pricing strategy right now to help make that happen? Some other strategies you've used to help them maybe buy before they sell?
Yeah, so again, the pricing strategy is pricing below what the comparable show us, or what the appraisal would say, to be proactive, right? And so, but one strategy that's really helped out a lot for really, there's two reasons. One, to help navigate this tough market, and people who want to move, they don't want to sit in their home for 3 to 6 months. Like they'd rather move and just continue to have their home listed on the market.
Yeah.
And we can do a HELOC, right?
Okay.
So HELOC is a home equity line of credit.
Yep.
Which basically, the beauty of a HELOC is you only have to pay interest on the amount that you use, right?
Yeah.
So if you need a down payment of $100,000 and you have that equity in your home, you can pull that out. You can use it as a down payment. You can go ahead and move into your new home. So that way we're not just waiting for your house to sell for you to, move on to your next phase of life. And so that, or things like bridge loans, or some creative financing options that you guys offer that help you to just move on with your life and not just be anxious about sitting in this home and hoping and praying that it'll sell, but being proactive in that.
Yeah. And one you and I actually just talked about earlier when you were, bringing up a bridge loan. One of the products we have that really help clients who maybe, like you said, want to buy before they sell, but having that other home monthly payment maybe is negatively affecting their debt to income ratio. We have an investor that we work with that will give them the equity from their existing house while we're waiting for it to sell. It's going to allow them to put down the down payment on the new house. They're not going to count their old mortgage payment in their debt to income ratio, because they know it's listed for sale. It's going to be selling in the next, like you said, maybe anywhere from 2 months to 6 months, depending upon the area, and then it's going to be gone in a short period of time. So that's allowed some of our clients to, walk away with a big win and not miss out on the house that they live.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of how to be proactive in this market.
So one thing that the conversation that I have all the time with first-time home buyers is seller credit, right? Just meaning a lot of them don't even know what seller credit is or what seller concession is. Can you explain how seller concession works and how it's going to benefit a buyer right now in today's market?
Yeah. So, let's say you're looking to buy a $500,000 home, right? And you'd like to offer $475 on it.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we can do, instead of just taking that off the top, which is, a difference in $25,000 that you financed over 30 years or 15, depending on the mortgage, we can actually just use that in what's called seller credits or concessions. So basically you would finance $500,000 over the course of 15 to 30 years. And we can use that $25,000 to do things like pay for your closing costs, or buy down your interest rate, or do a short-term buy down for 1, 2, or 3 years to be proactive to get you the rate that you want. And so what you'll find is sometimes it's more beneficial to buy down the rate than it is to offer a lower price in this market. And so your monthly payment may be less with the lower rate if you finance more. So 100% dependent on your goals and what you want, but it's a creative way to get you the monthly payment that you want and to come in negotiating hard, knowing that for buyers in this market, we're coming in hot on all the negotiations. So, for example, I had some clients who were buying their first home, young family, beautiful baby girl, and really we went in on a home. I want to say it was $350. They offered more for the house, and they got up to $360, and then we got the concessions back of believe it was 10 to 15,000 back.
Okay.
And so they actually financed more than what the home was listed for. Beautiful house. It was going to sell fast. And but the benefit for them is, one, all their closing costs were covered,
Yep.
right? I mean, early on in their career, they're going to be very successful people, but just kind of getting started.
Yeah.
And so it allows them to keep money in their pocket,
Mhm.
but also to get a lower interest rate and use those short-term buy downs to save monthly until they get more established.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now too is, buyers are asking for the world and they're getting it right
Yeah.
now, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Now, we're actually sitting in a new build right now. And so me personally, I've only been in Fort Worth for about, 5 years, and my wife's family is from here. That's what drew us out here. And I came from Southern California, and out there's like almost no new builds unless you're getting a custom house. And coming out here, seeing the kind of growth that Fort Worth has is prompting, builders to come out here and just build these beautiful communities. But with that is coming some pretty good opportunities for some home buyers. And I know you've worked with a lot of builders locally. Can you tell us more about, what you're seeing with these home builders, any incentives they have, and anything else that a lot of these buyers may not know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hard to beat new construction now,
Yeah.
right? So let's take D.R. Horton, for example,
Okay.
the nation's largest builder.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually started in Fort Worth, and
Okay.
now they're
I didn't know
headquartered out of Arlington.
Yeah.
So, but D.R. Horton currently today is offering a 3.99% fixed interest rate. So over
Jeez.
30
Yeah.
years, you get a 3.99.
Yeah.
Rates are in the high sixes right now,
Yep.
right? So you're talking 3 points lower than
Yep.
where rates are currently. And not only that, but they're paying for upgrades to the home.
Mm-hmm.
You get the warranties,
Yeah.
and then they're also paying for closing costs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you
You
go to,
can't beat
you
that,
can't
yeah.
beat that, man.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, D.R. Horton's kind of known for a first-time home buyer,
Mm-hmm.
but really all the builders are offering that. I mean,
Yeah.
this home that we're in today is $1 million home, probably 1.2,
Yeah.
and they're offering similar incentives to help
Mhm.
people buy homes today.
Yeah.
And so it's, if me personally, I live in an older home. I love the
Yeah.
character. I love the old neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
mature trees.
Mhm.
But if you're just want to be in a community and are conscious of the rate and keeping that money in your pocket,
Yeah.
I mean, new construction's the way to go.
Yeah. And is there a few communities that you've been to that you feel are, if you're a new buyer, like, hey, you should check out these,
Yeah.
3 top communities?
Yeah, yeah. So Walsh Ranch is one, right?
Okay.
Alito ISD.
That's where we are right now. Yeah.
That's where we are right now. Yeah. So tons of builders offering great
Yeah.
incentives. And again, you get anything from a first-time home to your forever home in Walsh
Mhm.
Ranch. Not only that, but then Ventana and Benbrook.
Okay.
Benbrook is an up-and-coming area.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice. Ventana's kind of a similar style to what Walsh is with the
Okay.
community feel.
Yeah.
And then out a little bit further east, Viridian, in Arlington, lots of new construction in
Yeah.
Viridian. And the cool thing, most people don't know about Viridian, but it's got 2 pools, and one pool
I don't
is
think I knew that.
yeah, one pool is 18 and under, or all ages. I'm sorry,
Okay.
and then the other pool is 18 plus, right?
Okay.
So you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to be over 18. It's got a little
Something for the
community.
parents.
Yeah, it's got a little community there, which is 55 plus as well within
Mm-hmm.
Viridian. So lots to offer, but tons of new construction all over DFW.
Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting with you today. You had a lot of great things to say, and I'm sure that some people watching this, whether they're in-state, out-of-state, may want to get connected to you just to kind of maybe dive deeper into what you discussed. So where can anyone find you if they want to get connected?
Yeah, easiest ways is just message me on
Okay.
social medias, right? Josh White, Close Real Estate, pretty
Mhm.
easy to find. Comment on whatever I'm posting, or just text me or call me 432-215-9177. And I think text or call is probably the quickest way to get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
All right, appreciate it, man.